What's up, guys? I'm CandidCrandell, and today I'm talking about the Pretty Little Liars Season 4 spring finale. A is for answers. I am still feeling a lot of feelings. I just... Okay. Noel Kahn was the person that the girls saw at the end of the last episode. Why is Noel Kahn there? We don't know, but for whatever reason, he decides to take them to an apartment and says that Allie is going to be meeting them there. How long has it been since you've seen Noel Kahn, and why are you trusting him so easily? And the apartment that Noel takes them to isn't even in Philadelphia. It's in New York City. Why on earth would they let him drive them so far away with the promise of like, oh yeah, you're gonna meet Allie? The girls wonder why Allie would trust Noel Kahn, and Allie answers that it's because he has secrets too. So Allie is there. Noel Kahn didn't lie. Still don't know if I trust him, but he said Allie would be there, and she is, so okay, Noel. All right, for now. But I want to know what his secret is and where he ends up going once Allie shows up. She trusts him so much. Why is he not sitting in the room? Allie seems different when she enters the room this time. There's a genuineness to her that was lacking before, but I don't know if it's an act. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if I trust Alison de Laurentiis. She hugs all of the girls, except for Spencer. Allie says she needs the girls' help to figure out who A is, and until she figures out who A is, she can't come home. The girls tell Allie that they think her mom is the one who stole the A game from Mona when Mona was in Radley, and Allie doesn't look super surprised. Allie has made very clear at this point that she does not trust her mother. I wouldn't either. Jessica de Laurentiis scares me. Allie tells the girls that if they can't figure out who A is tonight, she's going to have to disappear again, and this time it'll be for good. So does that mean she's like not coming back and she's just gonna like dump this whole A thing on the girls? That doesn't seem very fair. Like, she gets to leave, A is still harassing the girls. The cops have Cece Drake in custody and they are questioning her. That was, I guess, Cece using her actual name. Why? I don't know. If you are on the run, I would think that you wouldn't want to use your real name in a guest book, but I guess she did. So if you look at the shirt that Cece is wearing when she's getting interrogated, it looks like the exact same shirt that Ashley Marin found in Allie's bedroom the other day that Mrs. de Laurentiis had bought. So that would mean that Mrs. de Laurentiis and Cece are working together. And if the figure in the black hood and black gloves turned Cece in, that would suggest to me that they are on a different team from Mrs. de Laurentiis and Cece. Cece asks Holbrook if they just got lucky or if someone turned her in. Well, you wrote your name in a guest book, so someone could have just been scrolling through that and been like, Cece Drake, where have I heard that name before? Google it and be like, oh, wanted for murder, let me call the cops. According to Holbrook, there is an eyewitness who can put Cece at the scene of Wilden's murder, and they're just waiting for him to come in to identify her. Are they talking about Travis? Cece tells Holbrook that she wants to make a deal, and he says that he doesn't really know what she has to make a deal with. She tells him that she knows who killed that girl, the one you thought was Alison de Laurentiis. Or so she says. Cece also thinks that maybe that girl who was in Allie's grave might have been connected to Wilden as well. A had been threatening Allie since Halloween. During the summer, Allie wanted to get away from A, so she goes to Hilton Head for a weekend with Ian. Melissa follows Ian and Allie to Hilton Head and confronts Ian at the hotel room, and Melissa looks angry, like really, really angry. Melissa tells him that he better not see Alison ever again, because if he doesn't stop seeing her, someone's going to get hurt. Is that a threat, Melissa? Allie is in the back room looking at Ian's laptop, and she finds the video of Jenna and Toby together. This is her first time seeing it. She immediately takes out a thumb drive and copies all of the videos from Ian's computer onto it. She doesn't know who A is, but there are so many different people in these surveillance videos, and a lot of them are people that she suspects of potentially being A. She wants to have all of the videos for herself as a way to blackmail A into stopping harassing her. Because Jenna was at the top of her list, she takes that video and immediately goes to visit Jenna at the hospital. As Allie is walking out of the room, she gets another A text. Bitch can't see you, but I do. Tonight is the night I kill you. A. Okay, that's pretty terrifying. She's like steps away from Jenna, and there is no way that Jenna could have typed that quickly. Allie crossed Jenna off her A list at that point. The police are searching the Hastings house. They've got a warrant, and they're taking things for evidence. They're supposedly looking for the girls who have been missing ever since the charity fashion show, but it also seems like they're using it as an excuse to get into Spencer's room. Detective Holbrook shows Mrs. Hastings a picture of the girls and Allie from Halloween. The picture is taken from an angle that looks like the place where Ezra was coming from and walking from to bring Aria her phone, or it was a camera that was already set up in the Hastings backyard by A. Melissa is back in Rosewood. Why? Interesting timing, Melissa. I don't trust her. On the day that Allie went missing, A leaves a note on her mirror in red lipstick. I'm everywhere and soon you'll be nowhere. A. This terrified Allie because it made her feel like she wasn't even safe in her own home at this point. Mrs. De Laurentiis tells Alison that she can't go to the barn to have the sleepover with the girls. She's on the phone and she's freaked out about something and telling someone to come to please hurry, that she's really worried. I don't know if she's on the phone with the police talking about the fact that someone broke into her house and wrote on her daughter's mirror a threat in lipstick, or if she's talking about something else. She's extremely vague on the phone, which would suggest to me she doesn't want Alison to know what she's talking about. Mrs. De Laurentiis says to Alison that you can never turn your back on a Hastings. Whoa, Mrs. De Laurentiis has it out for the Hastings family. I have a feeling that what went down between Jessica De Laurentiis and Peter Hastings is even more complicated than we know. Allie defies her mother's orders to not go out and goes to the barn anyways because she's Alison De Laurentiis. Allie stole sleeping pills from her mother to drug her friends. She figured that if she drugged them and they were asleep and she got any A texts, then she would know that it wasn't any of the girls. When Toby and Alison meet up, he thanks Alison and says that he's finally free at last from Jenna. That's what his free at last tattoo is about, not about him killing Alison like everyone previously suspected. After that conversation, Allie knew that Toby wasn't A either. After she meets up with Toby, Allie begins to walk to the Kissing Rock to meet Ian when she runs into Ezra. Ezra is really pissed at her and is like, you lied to me. What she lied about was her age, and Ezra was confronting her because he's like, you told me that you were 21 and you're 16 and you're still in high school. Allie says to him that it's not a big deal because they didn't do anything. Okay, so Ezra and Allie didn't do anything. Oh, thank God, I'm so happy. So happy, Ezra. It also means that if Allie thought she was pregnant, it definitely wasn't Ezra's, so score. Ezra says that he actually really cares about Allie and that he doesn't want to see her get hurt. When Allie is leaving Ezra's car, she says, see you around, and Ezra says, no you won't. What? That is like really foreboding and sketchy. And then she says that if he ever gets his book published, he better spell her name right. Typical Alison De Laurentiis. Holbrook wants to know where Spencer was a couple of weeks ago when she was in rehab, and Veronica doesn't tell him anything. Holbrook continues into another interview room where we see Melissa. She's telling the detective that the reason that she came back to Rosewood was because she saw Toby in London and he said that Spencer missed her. Spencer missed you, so you just like jumped a plane and didn't tell anyone that you were coming back? Clearly both of your parents were surprised to see you. This was not a planned thing. You didn't call them and be like, oh my God, I'm really concerned about Spencer. You just showed up. So that's kind of weird. In a third interrogation room, Peter Hastings is being questioned. So the entire Hastings family is there, but Veronica and Peter don't know that they are each already there. They both think that the other is on their way to the station. Oh, Holbrook, you're so crafty. Noel gives Allie some cash, a plane ticket, and a passport and says that they need to leave for the airport in an hour. Where is she going that needs a passport? My guess would probably be Paris. Allie and Cece used to hang out at the pub a lot, and they told people that they were roommates together at U pen. Allie approaches Ezra when she sees him sitting on the couch reading, looks at what book he's reading, and then like Googles it on her phone and like looks up stuff about it, and then strikes up a conversation with him, lying about reading it 3 times. Ezra Fitz probably knows when you haven't read a book. I think he had her number from the very beginning. So you're a bit of a fabulist. Allie asks what that is, and he says it's a teller of tales. I don't think I have ever heard a more perfect description of Alison DeLaurentis. Allie continues onto the kissing rock to meet Ian. Allie says that Ian and Melissa deserve each other because Melissa is a bitch. I kind of agree with her on that. She tells Ian that he's going to jail. Ian then reminds Allie that they didn't have sex, so he can't be going to jail. That means that Ian is also not the beach hottie who possibly impregnated Alison. So that's 2 guys off the list. So who is this guy? Allie tells Ian that she has a copy of all of his movies. She also says that if either he or Melissa is the one sending her all of these threats, that it needs to stop immediately or she's going to release those videos. Ian tells her that she should not show those videos to anyone and she has no idea how much trouble it could cause. There's stuff on those videos that could bring everyone down, including your family. I would assume at this point he means Jason, considering that Jason was also in the NAT club with Ian and Garrett. Allie tells Arya that Ezra is still looking for her, but it's because of Arya, not because of his book. Apparently he found Shauna in Georgia when she went there and offered to help. He thinks that if he can rescue Allie, that he can win Arya back. I don't know about that. That just seems a little weird. I feel uncomfortable about that. I want that to be true, obviously, but I just don't know. Allie says that she knows how she treated people before, but she thinks she deserves a second chance. We're seeing an Alison who has some remorse for her actions and who seems to have really grown up over the past few years. Allie goes back to the barn where Speed Spencer has been waiting for her. That's what I'm gonna start calling Spencer when she's drugged out, Speed Spencer, because Speed Spencer is scary. Allie walks into the barn and Speed Spencer's just like, I've been waiting for you. Wow, calm down, girl. Holbrook wants to know why Peter Hastings hired a private investigator the summer Allie went missing. Peter says that it was work related. Are you sure it wasn't Spencer related? He has the file. Spencer's name was all over it. Uh-oh. Jessica DeLaurentis is at the police station. Peter Hastings comes over to her and says that the police are asking pointed questions about Spencer. Do we still have an agreement? Okay, so there was an agreement of some kind between Mrs. DeLaurentis and Mr. Hastings. But is it about Spencer? Jessica replies that she just found out that her daughter is still alive. That's the only thing that she can think about. Peter Hastings also sees Melissa at the police station and looks super surprised to see her. Yet again, another person who is like, what are you doing back in Rosewood? We didn't know you were coming. This is weird. Oh God, they know. I must have missed something. I did everything I could to protect her. Who is he talking about? My theory, Jason is the one with a twin sister. Follow me on this, okay? In the books, Allie and her twin Courtney were actually Peter Hastings, not Jason. In the show, if Jason is Mr. Hastings' son, maybe then Jason is the one with the twin, which would mean that the twin would also be Peter Hastings' child. He mentions that Radley hasn't done what's best for his family. Maybe he's got more family in there than just Spencer. Allie tells Spencer that the reason she was pushing her to tell Melissa that she had kissed Ian that summer was because Allie wanted Melissa and Ian to break up. We finally get to figure out what happened between Allie and Spencer. Spencer picks up the shovel and she comes at Allie with it, but she trips and falls. Her bottle of pills fall out of her pocket. Allie picks up the pills and sees what they are, immediately realizes that Spencer is speeding. Allie promises not to tell Spencer's parents about the pills and makes her promise that she will not take any more tonight and that she should never take those pills with alcohol. And then she sends her back to the barn to sleep it off. Allie leaves the barn again. She goes to meet up with Byron Montgomery. Allie says that she didn't think that Byron was A, but that she just wanted to meet up with him to let him know she had the videos. Allie returns to the barn, sees that she hasn't gotten any more texts from A, so she goes back home thinking that she's won, that she's silenced A. Allie gets to the front of her yard and sees her mom looking at her in the window. All of a sudden, Mrs. DeLaurentis' face fills with horror. She sees someone hit Alison in the back of the head with a rock. It clearly wasn't Spencer though, because Spencer was asleep when Allie left the barn. So Spencer has been cleared of being the one to hurt Allie and probably that other girl as well. Now the big question is, why didn't Mrs. De Laurentiis call 911 immediately when she saw someone hit her daughter in the back of the head with a rock? Instead of calling the police or an ambulance or anything, Mrs. De Laurentiis decides to bury Alison in the backyard. What mother buries her daughter in the backyard and doesn't fully check to make sure that she's still alive? Well, because she was. Literally watched her mother burying her alive and tried to scream out to her that she was alive. She couldn't say anything. The words couldn't come out, and Mrs. De Laurentiis did not notice. Terrifying. Being buried alive and not being able to move or say anything. Whoo! Creepy. Clearly, whoever hit Alison in the back of the head with a rock is someone that Mrs. De Laurentiis wants to protect. Because if it was just some arbitrary person, she would have called the cops. If it was Ezra, if it was Paige, if it was Emily. So who wouldn't she call the cops on? Jason, because he's her own child. And if Jason has a twin, it's possible that she didn't call on that person either. I don't think a mother would bury her own child unless it was to protect a living one. And if she thought that Alison was really dead at the hands of another one of her children, she probably thought that she was better off burying the dead one and covering up for the live one. As sick as that is, that was probably what was going through her head at the time. Allie heard her mom talking to someone when she was burying her, saying, "What have you done? What have you done?" Mrs. De Laurentiis was upset at whoever did this. Not upset enough to call the police, but definitely upset. If Mrs. De Laurentiis is still covering for someone, that totally explains why she's been pointing the finger at Spencer. When Allie was walking away after leaving Mrs. Grunwald, she runs into Nerdy Mona. What is Mona doing driving around on these backwoods streets? Sketchy. Mona takes Allie to the Lost Woods Resort, where she has a room under the name of Vivian Darkbloom, just like Allie told her to do. Mona says that she's scared for Alison and that if this A person was willing to bash her in the back of the head with a rock, what's to keep them from doing it again? She makes a good point. Mona suggests that maybe Allie should die, or at least pretend to die so that A thinks she's dead. Allie says, "How do I do that?" And Mona replies, "You disappear." Mona is weirdly obsessed with Allie though, because after she puts her to bed, she goes into another room that she has at the Lost Woods Resort, and it's her lair. It is fully decked out like it was when we saw it when Spencer discovered it. So how long has she had that lair there? Was she just on her way up there when she ran into Allie to go play with her Allie doll? Probably. She's scary. It seems like Mona wants to get Allie out of the way. Allie says to the girls Mona played her like a fool, that she got exactly what she wanted because Allie left town. But I don't think that Mona is the one who tried to kill Allie. I think that is a different person. Ugh. It is overwhelming being Alison De Laurentiis. Melissa tells her dad at the police station that Spencer didn't kill that girl. She leans into his ear and whispers something to him, and he looks pretty shocked. What did Melissa say? We have no idea. Was she confessing to killing the girl herself? Allie tells the girls that she can't go back home until she figures out why her mom would have been willing to bury her alive. I mean, that is a fair question. I will give her that. Allie was the one who pushed Ian off the bell tower when he was trying to kill Spencer. So when he's like, "What are you doing here?" I think he was surprised to see Alison because he thought that she was dead. Allie also says Ian wasn't dead, that she saw him walk away. So who killed Ian? My bet would be on Jason, seeing as how Ian was the other member of the NAT club who could give him up. The police show up at the building that the girls went to in Philly, but they're not there because Noel Kahn took them to a secondary location. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. I don't like this at all. A shoots through the window of the restaurant that the girls are at, and they make a run for it up to the roof. They can't call 911 because Noel took all of their phones. What? Why did you give Noel your phone? Why would you do that? Rookie mistake, you guys. This is season 4, giving your phone to someone who's been missing for months and you don't know what his secrets are. Come on. You should know better than that. Also, why did he take their phones? That's really weird and not trustworthy at all. Ezra shows up on the roof in his baseball cap. If the girls are in New York instead of Philly, how did he know they were there and how did he get there that fast? That just seems weird to me. Like, I'm glad he's there, and I'm glad that he is not the masked figure, because we see the masked figure come up onto the roof as well, so we know that Ezra and the person in the black hoodie are not the same. So that's great, but also what is he doing there? Because that's still weird. Ezra says to the person in the mask that he knows who they are and that the police are on their way, so they need to put the gun down. Ezra is super brave and jumps in between the hooded figure and the girls, tackles him, and they have a fight. Yeah, go Ezra! Hannah gets a hold of one of the guns and turns it on the hooded figure and demands that they take their mask off. Unfortunately, A gets away and jumps down from the building and on over to the next one. I think we can all agree that that was definitely not Jessica De Laurentiis doing all of those crazy acrobatics on the roof. So who is it? It's not Ezra. It's not any of the people that were at the police station, so it can't be Melissa. Noel? Noel is the only other one who is like there. Then my least favorite moment of the entire episode happened. Ezra is shot in his beautiful, perfect abs and bleeding and being crazy. And Ari is holding him and telling him not to close his eyes, and I just can't. I'm not happy about that at all. We see Mrs. De Laurentiis being dragged by someone in a black hood and black gloves, being buried in a grave as well. Somehow between the police talking to her at the station, she left the station, or someone got her from the station and killed her and buried her. Clearly it's not the same hooded figure that was in New York who just shot Ezra, because you couldn't get back to Rosewood that quickly from New York. So it has to be two people, right? Could have been Melissa, because she was at the police station. I just want to know who in the world is burying all of these people in Rosewood. Is there a Rosewood serial killer? Here are some unanswered questions that I still have after this episode. Who hit Allie in the head with that rock? Who is Mrs. De Laurentiis protecting? Same person who hit Allie in the back of the head with the rock, apparently. Why is Melissa really back in Rosewood? I highly doubt it's because Toby said that Spencer misses her, or even that it's because Spencer had a relapse. I think she's got ulterior motives. Who is the girl in Allie's grave, and who killed her? I feel so bad for whoever this girl is. We know that the beach hottie cannot be Ezra and cannot be Ian, because Allie didn't sleep with either of them. So if Allie thought she was pregnant, who was it? Most important of all, who is this person in the black hoodie? I think that there's two at this point. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the spring finale of Pretty Little Liars, and tell me any of your theories that you have. I would love to discuss them with you. If you don't already, you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Blogspot, and Instagram, username CandidCrandell. I put out videos every Tuesday and Thursday on my channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Bye.